At the church that I presently attend, we are actually going through a series called Believe. And I thought that I would borrow that as my topic, even though I don't think I could quite do the justice as the pastors there would do. But that word has such a huge impact on me and how I function on a daily basis that I decided to borrow the topic Believe from them. And also I remember growing up once the pastor goes over the topic, that's when he says, "Ushers, you may have a seat." So that's a good time for everyone to sit back and relax and hopefully enjoy what I'm going to share with you. The word believe, it really holds a lot of meaning to me, and it's a word that I want the young people and anyone of that regard to leave here with that word, not just knowing the word, but actually taking that word with them as you go from here on. And it holds a lot of meaning to me because in the neighborhood that I grew up in, that was something that you would definitely have to have in order to go from being brought up in the projects of Alabama, Chattahoochee Courts to be specific. I really do acknowledge that place because that does acknowledge where I come from. And growing up to be someone who can stand in front of a college classroom and teach adults and just have the respect that I've earned over the years. So Believe has a lot of power to me. And I also remember growing up in the projects, when someone wanted to put extra emphasis on there, especially girls, they would say, "Please believe." And when you hear that, you know that they mean business. So I'm actually going to extend the believe part to please believe, because I really want you to know how important I think it is that you believe in the things that I'm going to share with you, and you just take that word believe with you as you leave and as you go from day to day. So at any given moment, I might say, and if you would like to catch on and say it with me, I will use the phrase, please believe. And there are three things, and I'm speaking to the youth, but this is something that everyone can use. There are three things that I think we should believe in order for us to grow into the wonderful adults that we have here today, and also the wonderful adults that I know all the young people will grow up to be. And those three things are, number one, to believe in God.
Amen.
Number two is to believe in wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And number three is to believe in yourself.
All right.
And first and foremost, believe in God, because we already see the signs that God is real.
Amen.
And if you think about the things that have happened to you that you thought just was too good to be true, things that were unbelievable, things that you know you couldn't take credit for, things that you just absolutely thought was a miracle, that's God.
Amen.
And we all have one of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows us we've already seen the signs that God is real.
Amen.
And so we have to believe in God.
Yes.
And even if it's something as simple as us being able to wake up each morning and inhale the oxygen in our lungs that gives us life, as I take on my science teacher faith. And all the theories and all the things that we talk about that are guesses and that we cannot conceive, things that goes beyond what we have the answers for. That's God. And when we lean to God and when we believe, then we have our answers. And if you could imagine the story of a guy growing up in the projects, single parent, 8 kids, and growing into one day standing in front of a college classroom to be called a professor, you would believe. And on June 3rd of this year, that became my reality.
Amen.
And so for that, I have to say, please believe.
Amen.
And because of that, you wonder how you could explain a project kid growing up and building enough trust and respect to be in front of a college classroom. Amen. And that's only a blessing of God.
Amen.
And I can't say that I've always made the right choices. I can't say that I've always had the best understanding growing up. But I can say that I did believe enough to keep God close. Even going back to high school, I remember after just about every test that I took, I prayed. And I asked for guidance and I asked for wisdom because I believed. And I remember doing that all the way up until the time where I earned my 4th degree, the degree that I hold now, my specialist degree. And remembering that this is a project kid that didn't have much money and didn't have a tree growing where I can get money from, I had to believe in something in order to go from there to being able to earn the degrees that I have. And also being able to stand in front of you today as I do.
Amen.
And so to that I say, please believe. But my solid belief in God helped me to get where I am. And it's helped me when I've doubted myself. It has helped me when I was ashamed to tell people where I live. Or thought about hiding my pain through bad behavior. And in this course that I'm teaching now, we talk about school law. And one of the things that we talk about is the separation of church and state. And of course we got into the discussion about prayer and religion in schools. And one of the big things I can remember the students talking about is how we've taken prayer out of the school. And I actually looked at it a little bit differently. I said we don't just necessarily need prayer in school. We simply need God in schools.
Amen. Amen.
And we can achieve that by putting God in the students, and so that when they go to school, they will take God with them. And then we will continue to have God in the schools. And that will make a difference for us. And in middle school, the influence seemed to change a lot from the adults to the peers. So if we had more students influencing God in the other schools, we wouldn't have to worry about the crime. We wouldn't have to worry about race to the top or no child left behind or any of that. And I tell my students all the time that the ultimate responsibility that goes on in school is built around their behavior. And it's their responsibility. All the rules, the regulations, the rewards, the punishment, all come from the behavior and interactions of the students. So could you imagine a school full of God-filled students influencing those that don't know God.
Amen.
Please believe.
Please believe.
The second thing that I think youth need to believe in is wisdom. And I define wisdom as advice that gets better with age.
All right.
And as young people, you know, I mentioned earlier, they tend to tune out the adults because they think they've heard it all before. And when it comes to my students, I even offer them the reward of me shutting my mouth once they begin to do the right thing.
Amen.
And as much as I stay on them about the expectations, to them, that is as good as gold. And if any of them were here, they'd probably say, please believe. But young people need to believe in what the adults say because it is experience. It is not made up, because you would call that fiction or fairy tale. And I don't know about you, but I haven't necessarily lived a fiction or a fairy tale. I've lived a real life, and sometimes hard times. And when I see a student or a younger person who's going in having the same patterns that I've seen in my own life, I'm going to raise that red flag. And young people need to believe in what your elders and what the adults say enough to just sit and open your ears and listen. And when you believe and when you listen, you become more wise in your decisions. And also, if it were meant for you to do it on your own, there would not be a concept of family, of friends, of community, or of the church.
Amen.
Companionship is the creation of God. So we have to believe in the wisdom of those who were put here before us. And the third thing that I think youth need to believe is in themselves.
All right.
Believe in yourself. Believe that you are worth happiness.
All right.
Believe that you are worth success. To me, students who make bad decisions or engage in bad behavior or just put forth little effort in doing what they need to do, it's not for popularity or trying to see how bad they are. I believe that they have not found their worth, and they don't believe that they are worth being happy or successful, and they settle for that instant gratification that comes with the attention for the behaviors that they're in, whether it's positive or negative. And when you believe that you are worth happiness and you believe that you are worth success, you would work towards happiness and success. Please believe. Then your task is easy. I tell my students all the time that it's easier to do the right thing, because how much do adults stay on you or lecture you or punish you when you're doing the right thing? And that's none. But it's too much work to get into trouble and force the adults to have to correct it all. So do the easy thing and do right. And I think that sounds like a good slogan for a t-shirt. Do right. There's only two things that you need to do right and to work towards success, and that is dedication and discipline. Dedication is the unyielding drive to work towards success, and discipline is the will to stay on that path despite the distractions or the obstacles.
All right.
And if you have those, you won't have to worry about the adults staying on you or getting on your nerves, as some of the middle schoolers would say to me sometimes. You being able to do that on your own, being able to have that discipline and that dedication on your own, is called character.
Amen.
And we all know that definition. Character is what you do when no one is looking.
Amen.
But you also need to know that your reputation is what you do when everyone is looking.
All right. All right.
And when you believe in yourself, you not only build your character, but it also builds your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, how important it was for me to build my reputation when I explained to people my backgrounds. Being a black guy from the project with dreads and rims, and yes, I do have rims on my car. And growing up in the projects, truthfully, that might sound like a nightmare to some people.
Uh-huh.
But I've used my character and reputation to turn that into 4 degrees, professional speaking, and a college professor. And I can still spit a couple of hot rap lines, as my students have learned about me as well.
Right.
Please believe. But it all started from me believing in God, believing in the wisdom that the adults offered before me, and believing in myself that I can be successful. And it has helped me build my character and my reputation and to what I've wanted it to be. And that's a respected teacher, poet, rapper, speaker, and a college professor. A person who started from the projects in a family of 8. And I would like to leave you with a poem that I wrote dedicated to youth that talks about believing and succeeding. And it is called The Statutes of Liberty. And just a little background on it. I wrote this as sort of a precursor to the poem. As I watched the inauguration of President Barack Obama mixed in with the air of history and remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King, I will move to pose a charge to the generation that I'm currently teaching, placing my personal story as the centerpiece of building a dream, believing in it, and relentlessly persevering until the dream is a reality. And after being inspired by the resounding words of President Obama, with passion and dedication, let us answer the call of history and carry into an uncertain future the precious light of freedom. I give you an original poem entitled The Statutes of Liberty.
Amen.
If I can't make you believe, then I'll just let you see the blessings resting in the hand of the least of these. Open palms like karate, no commodities, just empty hope held close with embraces, bracing through poverty, looking like that one man they can't stand. So they lock doors, hide keys, while he gazes back between locks and brown skin with 3 degrees. If I can't make you believe, then I'll just let you see how he navigated through the streets of the Chattahoochee, also known as the bricks, public housing, or the projects, with prospects of being just a statistic until he went pro. Don't get it flipped though, because it's no game. It is success, gift wrapped with a bow. You wouldn't believe how you can go 8 deep in sibling rivalry with one apparent referee. A single parent left to be the figure both motherly and fatherly. Now he's scholarly, called on to be the voice of reason, rising above and going beyond myth to man to stand at podiums with all witnessing with their own eyes the beliefs that speaks reality, to bring you these, the statutes of liberty. Be young at heart, but wise in mind. Compassionate in deed and speech. Careful in wishful thinking. Intentional in whom you groom to be. Be calculated in your time of action. Take initiative, not invitation. Be daring in your destination, going beyond the beaten path. Cut through the mountainous experience that the rocky terrain causes the mold to be shattered thereafter. Build your dreams on faith, hope, and love, leaving materials to their sole purpose, brick and mortar. The starter foundation, not for idolization, because even buildings get dilapidated. The man of steel still has his kryptonite, but the will to drive with perseverance is the strength that lasts beyond the ages. Sticks and stones can spark fire to ignite a passion and desire, and the prize shall come in the end, knowing that the bruises only scratch the surface, revealing the real you deep within. Now take these statutes, and you too will believe that you can be of humble beginnings and see your dreams materialize before your eyes. Then I won't have to make you believe. You will see that what stands before you is the reality. That one man, from poverty and project streets to degrees, success, and liberty, who believes. And I believe in each of you. Succeed so that you may live free. Thank you.